Good afternoon, and welcome to this series entitled Calypso, the New York Experience. My name is Megan Sylvester, and I'm on the board of TUCO, the Trinidad-Tobago Unified Calypsonians Organization, and I am the Education and Research Officer. And I'm here in New York doing a series of lectures, as indicated, Calypso, the New York Experience. Today, I am going to be interviewing Deborah Haynes, who has acted in many varying roles within the Calypso art form. And now I'm going to give Deborah an opportunity to share her story with us. So Deborah, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in singing, firstly, before we get to talk about the Calypso art form.
Well, good afternoon, Megan. Nice to finally have met you. My name is Deborah, AKA Debbie Haynes Benjamin. Most people don't call me Deborah. Anybody call me Deborah is somebody from back home. So I'm locally known as Debbie. I was born in Port of Spain, Trinidad, the second of 4 children from my mother and my father. And I started singing at the age of 6 in church because I grew up, as a Christian family and stuff. And I started in church. And I never knew I had that talent until when, I started singing in the choir. You had the kids choir and the junior choir, we will call it, or the adult choir. But I was a child. So I started singing in church. And then we had a concert play for Christmas. And it was Joseph with the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And I had a part of singing. And I wasn't scared or anything. It's like, God gave you that good talent that, you just flush it out there. And at the end of the show, everybody was like, beautiful voice. I never knew you could sing and great job and stuff. And, it felt really, really good. So I said, maybe, this is a direction that maybe God wants me to go. So I kind of like just, followed up in it, staying in the choir and stuff. And that's how I started.
Mm-hmm. So from that point on, tell us a little bit about other experiences that you would have had to sing and to perform and how that would have eventually led you to be involved in the Calypso art form.
Okay, there was a on-Broadway training program. I think I was 16 or 17 years. That was founded and facilitated by Carol Addison, which is a local artist from back home. And the program was for 6 months with people who wanted to get into the entertainment in the industry. So you have like do's and don'ts. It was a program, but it was a learning program. So there was singers, dancers, people who doing poets and, different categories. So I was in the singing category, and that was for 6 months. And then Carol Addison, at the end of the 6 months, we graduated, we got a certificate and everything. And then Carol Addison took me at the side and said, I want to form a group with 3 girls. I was one of the 3 girls. And the group was called Enchantment. And now with this group Enchantment, it went a long way. We performed locally, doing background for Carol. We never did backgrounds and her records and stuff. We just did live shows for her as her backup group. And I remember singing, on stage with her with like a group called The Barge. I don't know if you know that group. Yes. Sister Sledge, yes. Jackson 5, Natalie Cole. Girl, it was an experience to remember. Beautiful. I'm happy that I got that opportunity, to be as part of that program and to be as part of that group, because it was really, really It was really enjoyable. And I just took it from there.
Okay. Did you get an opportunity at all to sing non-calypsos before you came into the Calypso art form?
No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't at all. We were just doing more R&B stuff and that kind of stuff. And the group didn't last for that long, but maybe a couple of years ago. One of the girls left and they migrated to the US. Right. So the group, was destroyed, I would say. Okay. So then I now had 2 of my best friends that could sing, and they wanted, to be in the limelight like me, as we would say. So I then ended up forming the group called Ebony, which we did local little shows for ourselves that we put on as little shows for ourselves, to produce ourselves. And then there was this program called, not the program, but a show called Scouting for Talent with the host, Holly Batodia, girl, and we went and we got into, you have to go enter and stuff. And then we got into the program and the show, as I would say, and we came into the semifinals. And we would have been in the finals if we didn't change our song. And that's what everybody told us. But they said we should have stuck with the song that we started off, and we ended up changing it. So we didn't get into the finals, but it was a nice opportunity anyway.
Right. So, as a member of Ebony, were you singing Calypso or were you singing R&B and
R&B
genres? So how did you make that transition from non-Calypso music to Calypso music?
A friend approached me to come and sing backgrounds at Kitchener Review Tent. And I wasn't really into Calypso as such a thing, but I so loved singing that it didn't matter what I was singing. So I took the opportunity and I became part of the Review Angels, and I stayed there for 7 years. And it was a really nice experience. I love singing. That's the bottom line. I just love singing. So being on the tent with the Review Angels and, going all over the country and singing, and you perform with Clash of the Giants and this and that, it was really nice. It was an opportunity.
So you would have worked with the Lord Kitchener. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Girl, Lord Kitchener is a talented and very admirable person. I did a lot of backgrounds on his CDs, and with Kitchener, when you're singing with him in the studio, he knows what he wants to hear from the background vocals. His ears is very, very clean. So he has a motive that, everything has to be done in a way that, he hear it, and the words, he likes, articulation of different phrases and different lines, how you articulated the harmonies. His ears is very, very clean. So it wasn't a challenge, because for me, you could play any melody on a piano and I will know what the harmonies are. That's my God-given gift. So it was very, very nice, to have worked with him. And I miss him. I even did the video of the Bees Melody, which is on the television all the time. Even up to the other day, my friend was telling me, hey, I remember you, I saw you in the picture of Bees Melody, and I was singing, va-vung, vung, vung, va-vung, va-vung, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Everything is an experience and a learning experience for me. You're never too old to learn.
Of course. And could you tell us a little bit about some of the other Calypso stalwarts that you would have worked with coming through the years in the business?
Okay, so since I joined the Calypso industry, Leston Paul got word of me, and Pelham got us. I got the opportunity to, do work with them in the studio, along with background singers like Natalie York and Carla Gonzalez. We were like the trio that they used to use all the time.
Okay.
I did commercials and stuff. I did the NP commercial, Count on Me, TNT.
Right.
Yes, that's me. That's my voice there. I know a lot of people don't know that, but
right.
So we did, and I worked with Nappy Myers, the late Nappy Myers and stuff. So I did a lot of backgrounds and commercials and even CDs. So I worked with like Sugar Aloes, Baron, Crazy, Shadow, Sparrow, Explainer, Poser, a lot, to name a few then.
Right.
And I just took off from there. So I continuously did that, background singers. And one thing with background singer that I want to mention is that a lot of people who can sing lead cannot sing background.
That's interesting. Explain a little bit about that.
Okay, with singing background, you have to blend with the person that you're singing with. So you can't be above or below. You have to be entwined with the people that you're singing with. So at least you have the ear to hear the note that the other person is singing, so you wouldn't be overpowering them and stuff. But the lead singer, you're singing on your own.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want, but with the background, it's a little more technical. It's not difficult. if you have the gift. But it's just a little more technical, but you got to be entwined with the other people that you're singing. It's just the same as like choirs.
Right.
So
Right.
you
Everybody has
have
a part
to,
to play. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why I find a lot of people say, how come you haven't sang lead? I've done a couple of lead songs and it been to England and little
Right.
parts of Europe and stuff, but it didn't really push it. So
Right.
that fell apart. But I just like doing my background because it's challenging. It's
Right.
really challenging. So I just
Right.
I just stay doing background.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about touring, because I'm sure that you would have gotten the opportunity to tour with all of these artists that you said that at least you would have sung background for. Tell us about that touring experience.
Okay, so after 7 years, I left Kitchener's tent. I left Trinidad and I migrated to the US in 1991. And when I got here, Sparrow calls me Doublito. He said, "Oh, Doublito, I hear you're here, girl." He said, I need you, man. I need you.
Right.
So he took me on and I went touring, all over the world. I even um Arrow, the guy that sang Hot, Hot, Hot,
Yes.
he was looking for a background singer too. And then one of the guys said, "Oh, Debbie is here. Debbie's in New York." So he alone took me on to. So I was juggling both artists, touring all over the world. And the beautiful thing about touring is that you get to visit all over the world
Right.
and you don't have to pay for a ticket.
Right.
You get to see everything for free. Just do what you're hired to do.
Right. Right.
Now, the difference between Sparrow and Arrow is Arrow does only and mainly jazz concerts. So
Oh,
it's like a little different.
right.
So, and he has dance routines on stage and all that kind of stuff. Sparrow, everybody knows Sparrow. Sparrow's like Saltfish.
Right.
So you sing with Sparrow, you're a background singer. But with Arrow, I was the opening act
Ah.
before he got on stage.
Right.
So I will do 2 songs and
Right.
we have our own little stuff going on. So I would entertain the crowd and get them involved and, hyped up and stuff before Arrow
Right.
comes on. And
Right.
then when he comes on, he take over and then I do background. And then we all have our dance routine that he has the front line doing and stuff.
Right.
So I've been all over the world, Sweden, Denmark, um, girl, you name it, Spain.
Yes.
I've been a lot of places.
Right.
And it was very interesting to see, different people of different culture enjoying our music.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think that they don't even know what's going on. They know more than us because
Right.
they know about the artists. They follow them.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go all different places all over the world, it's not even like a little crowd. It's big crowds. It's
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see, people of different cultures and different race enjoying
Right.
our music
Right.
and involved in it. They dancing. I mean, some of them don't have the timing, but they dancing, they're getting on, they're screaming.
Yes.
And it's really, really nice to see, hey, these are our local people and people of all different race and cultures enjoying our music. It's a beautiful thing to experience.
Mm.
Really, really nice.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for sharing that with us, Debbie. One of the things I want to mention is that part of what I do as the education and research officer is I go to secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago, talking to young men and young women about the Calypso art form. And you would be amazed to know that sometimes, just as you were indicating, some young people do not want to be the frontline singer. They actually want to find out about the other aspects of the business. And one of
Right.
them is background singing. Some people, of course, want to do the musical side. Some people want to manage. Some people want to produce, arrange, promote. But there's some people who love songwriting, some people who like background, and some people who like that foreground. And so it becomes important, for me to hear your story so that when I take this information back to Trinidad and Tobago, what we recognize to the secondary schools, that young people are going to get an opportunity to hear, listen, look at what I can do with a career.
Exactly.
That doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be the lead singer. I can.
That's so true.
I can enjoy singing. I can get paid, for my
Yes.
craft. And that's
most important.
indeed. That is so, so important. So tell us a little bit. I know, of course, that you live in New York. So tell us a little bit about how you made that transition, because usually the thinking is you have such a thriving career in Calypso and the touring. What would then lead you to make that switch to the United
Okay.
States?
I wanted a difference of a change, as we would say in Trinidad, for more opportunities. I mean, yes, Trinidad, you have that clique that's just there in the forefront and stuff. But in terms of getting out there, Trinidad is just a small place to me, but a beautiful place. I love my country.
Mhm.
But in terms of opportunity, America is one of the land of opportunity, one of the countries with opportunities. So I just wanted a change to see what it was like outside of Trinidad. And I'm very happy that I migrated and got that opportunity, because if I had remained in Trinidad, I would not have been touring. I would not have
Oh,
gotten the opportunity to tour and
okay.
visit, different places and learn different aspects of the place, and even get the opportunity to do backgrounds on other Caribbean artists CDs,
Ah,
because I've worked on many other Caribbean artists, like Grenadians and Antiguans, Vincentians, to name a few: Onion,
right.
Ajamu,
Mhm.
Swallow, Winston Soso, all these, main guys from their country. I did a lot of stuff in the United States with them. And if I
Okay.
was in Trinidad, I would not have gotten that opportunity because they didn't know of me.
Right.
So it was a blessing in disguise, as we would
Right.
say.
Right.
And I love one of my main artists that I really like, that I would like to share, Onion. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you know Onion. Onion has a high pitch voice,
Okay.
a very unique styling. And I loved working with him. His songs are different, and his songs are not like it tells a story, but it's not vulgar.
Right.
But blending with Onion is a challenge because he has
Ah,
a high, I don't have a high pitched voice, but I could sing in any range.
right.
But when you have to blend with Onion, you have to listen to him carefully, because he will go in some tones where you'll be like, huh, where's he going? You're trying to find his melodies are a little strange and stuff, but he has beautiful songs. So he was one of my memorable artists that I enjoyed working with. And also a Jamu.
Okay.
Winston Soso, all these guys and them, they are masters in their own unique way in their country.
Right.
So, I would really like to recognize them,
Yeah.
because they help the art form. It's not only Trinidad people alone, Trinidad artists. We're all Caribbean people.
Mhm.
And there's so many of us that hasn't even been recognized. And it's good to give recognition to people who has put themselves out there. Even, people like Charlie Studio,
Mhm.
Charles Dougherty's studio.
Yes.
These guys, different studios in America that put the little guys out there, take their money, record them, put
Right.
them on CDs, give them shows to do, to promote them, to
Right.
promote the art form.
Right.
It's
Right.
such a challenge to be out there on your own
Mhm.
without these people behind you who knows the industry to push you.
Right.
It's very, very difficult when you want to do something, but you don't know the hows and whens and why and when to do
Right.
it. So,
Mhm.
people like Charlie's record, and, especially Charlie's record, he did a lot for local artists,
Okay.
Caribbean people.
Mhm. Mhm.
His name is well known, and he like really, really put the music out there, give you
Right.
that opportunity to build something for some people, American people or anybody, to
Mhm.
learn the music, to hear what we, accomplish, on what we like, what's our culture.
Yes.
So it's really, really, good. I even did the Sunshine Awards for
Right.
many years,
Yes.
many years,
Mhm.
produced and founded by Gil Figaro and Joe Brown.
Right.
And the Sunshine Awards is how to put it? It's a show that recognizes people, not only singers, but people with poetry, dance, humanities, science, education. They give, awards to all these different categories.
Right.
And I was proud to, or I am still proud to, be part of that organization where I donate my talent with the band, Charles Dougherty's band, and they're called the Circle of Friends.
Right.
And it's nice to be part of that organization because it's a way for me to say thanks.
Right.
Thanks for society. Thanks for, the people donating their culture and their talent, and to receive that award. I was happy to be a part of that organization. And I hope it still stay and continue. I mean, with the pandemic and all, it has been out for the 2 years, but hopefully we get back on track next year and we will just continue. Joe Brown and Gil Figaro will just continue what they are doing. I even did, I want to mention I did charity for a song called Song for Montserrat.
Okay.
For Montserrat, where they did that song, which was inspired by Air Jamaica Airline, for Gil Figaro and Joe Brown, to do that song to help the people of Montserrat who are affected by the volcano, the Soufriere.
Right.
And they made, a lot of money, a lot of donations came in, to help the people, because we need to help one another, because you never know where you're going to be.
Exactly.
So we all, that song was formed. I worked with singers like Arrow was in that show, Sparrow, Designer, which is now called Keith Styler, Janet Allen, the late Janet Allen, who was one of the singers from the Review Angels. When she left, I think that's whose place I took when I went to sing with Kitchener's 10. Glenda Eiffel, which is one of a great singers too, who is still alive.
Right.
And many others who I can't really picture or remember now. But we all came together. George Victory, the late George Victory, the guitarist from Trinidad.
Right.
We all came together as a group to sing for that. So we all had lines to sing and whatnot.
Right.
And it was sad, singing about it, but it was for a great effort.
And that is so important what you've just told us, Debbie, because it really shows the expanse and width that an individual who is involved in the Calypso art form can participate in. Because, sometimes a lot of young people, as I say, and even their parents and other persons in the society tend to think that you're only talking about the Calypso tent and that there's nowhere to go when you're involved in Calypso. There are no opportunities. So that, that overview that you just gave was really, really, that retrospective was really, really so timely, so important. One of the other things that we would like to know is, since you've indicated that migrating was a good idea for you because it gave you all of this wealth of opportunity. Could you tell us if now, of course, it's 2021, do you continue to perform? Do you still get the opportunity? I mean, I know, of course, that it's the pandemic, but do you still get to perform?
Well, I don't do much live shows. I've stopped that a couple of years ago. When my daughter was born in 2002, I kind of slowed down, because after 14 years having another child, my husband's only child, it was kind of a little hectic. So I kind of slowed down. I got into the medical field and whatnot. And now, particularly now, I don't do much live shows, but I still do a lot of background studio work. I work on a lot of people's stuff, even in the pandemic now. I do a lot of gospel CDs. For local artists. And no live shows, but I still love what I do. I go into the studio, I do what I gotta do, and I get paid, and I get out.
That's important.
I use that opportunity either before I go to work or when I'm off. So I'm never gonna give it up. This is my God-given talent. God gave it to me. As my mother would say, she was my sole supporter of my gift, my singing gift. And she will always say, God gave you that gift. Use it and use it well. And that was my mother's motive to me. And I still remember it. So I'm never going to give it up. As long as I can still sing and breathe, I'm going to get old. So I wouldn't be able to stand up on the stage as, for a long time. But as long as people want my voice and my contribution to their CDs and stuff, or even to their shows, and as long as I'm available, I'm always going to be there for it, whether it be paid for or donated, charity, or what, I'm going to do it. Because not everything is about money.
Yes, yes. And that is also an important lesson there for young people to be aware of. Debbie, there is a song by Lord Nelson entitled Foreigner. And it is a song that really has a lot of, value for Trinidadians and Tobagonians who leave Trinidad and Tobago and come outside. And then when they have to return, or if they return to Trinidad and Tobago, the population or the people in the music industry tend to see them as a foreigner. Have you had any experiences like this in terms of, have you ever returned to Trinidad to perform? Have you ever returned to Trinidad and been on the receiving end of persons thinking, oh, you migrated, you're no longer one of us? Have you?
Not really, because even when I migrated in 1991, I was still coming back every year and singing in the tent.
Okay.
So okay. I would just use that because that was the time when it was a slow period for us in the US with, with the touring and stuff.
Right.
So I would use that opportunity to come back, sing in the tent. And as that season is over, then I come right back up because I'm right back on touring again.
Right.
So I didn't get that feeling.
Okay.
Me personally, I didn't get that feeling. But I've heard of, some people that been through that opportunity. And I find, to me, it's selfish because I'm gonna say it. I'm very outspoken. To me, it is selfish because, okay, we are coming back there to work, but they're also coming in when it's a slow period in Trinidad to come up here to work. And we don't treat them that way because you're coming to make $1 in your slow time. You're still coming to promote yourself. You're still coming to promote the music. So why is it different for when you have to come here as if when we got to go there? It shouldn't be that way. But I've heard of people that had that, experience. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Thank you for sharing that. So, Debbie, we want to speak to young women now who are interested in becoming singers, frontline singers, background singers, or interested in getting into some aspect of this male-dominated art form that is Calypso. What words of advice would you give, in terms of some of the experiences you would have had as a female in this male space of Calypso?
Okay. I would say let people know your boundaries. Because if you laughy or smiley with everybody and you don't put boundaries in place, people take you for granted. Some people they go over the line and it's a form of disrespect as women, young women. So you got to know your boundaries. Follow your dream, yes, but know what you're about. Have a mentor that is respectable to you to give you advice, because in this industry, nobody really not a lot of us want to help each other. It's a form of it's like, okay, if you get by, they might think, well, okay, I helped you. You want to think you're better than me, and in this kind of way. And I've seen that, but it's not that. It's not like crabs. Everybody's climbing in each other's back to get to where you want to be. We just want a little piece of the action.
Right.
So know your let people know your boundaries first and foremost. Have respect for yourself in forms of the way you carry about yourself, the way you dress and stuff. So people will get a different idea, because sometimes you don't open your mouth, but when they look at you, they form a different opinion and they say, yeah, I wonder. Right. And the mind is a very terrible thing to waste. If you have that in your mind that you want to do something, whether it be singing, writing, doing music, arranging, or whatever you want to do, follow your dream. because it's going to take a little while. Rome wasn't built in a day. So you got to know what you want and go for it, because opportunities, if you get that opportunity, opportunities missed can never be regained.
Indeed.
But you just got to know what you want to do, when you want to do it, and just go for it. Sometimes we plan stuff and it never happens because we were like, I wonder how it's going to turn out. I wonder how it's going to be. I wonder, anyone. Just go for it.
Right.
You never know. You know, somebody might be there in the background saying, I never know this person could have done this job in terms of singing or arranging or whatever. You never know. Somebody might be there in the background sitting and saying, this person got talent.
Right.
It's just like in America. Anywhere you go, somebody's always looking out for something new.
Right.
Somebody new.
Yeah.
We are growing.
Right.
Time is evolving. Different things are happening. And one of the things that I think that the older masterminds should have done, you know, to encourage younger people to get into the art form. Everything was all about, you know, them, you know, pushing themselves. But to me, I think if they had involved more younger people, you know, earlier on in the art form and guide them, mentor them, you know, it would have been a little better, because a lot of songs coming out now is not about the stories that the older folks, the older artists, and they used to, you know, make up their stories. Everything used to be in the Calypso. You make your story and you make your music out of it. Now is a lot of stuff that to me don't even make sense. It's just like a rhythm, and the lyrics are like, some of them are vulgar and stuff, and I didn't really, you know, I don't really like that. But if they had mentored us differently, you know, while growing up, I think it would have gone in a different direction. But never mind, time is evolving, new things are coming out, and I'm hearing a lot of nice music coming out. We had that point in time when everything was just, I didn't even understand what they were saying. But now we're getting a lot of nice songs and nice rhythms and melodies and stuff coming out. And I would like to say, in my earlier days, if I had gotten the opportunity to sing with Destra and Nadia Batson, oh my God. Girl, those two women that I know of, I mean, I know there are a lot more, but those two, even Patrice Roberts, they have some energy and some styles that I like, especially Nadia Batson's songs. I love that kind of style. And I would have loved the opportunity to be on stage when I was younger. But these two women, they are terrific.
And this is really fantastic, Debbie, because, you know, within TUCO, there's a junior Calypso competition. And you spoke earlier about grooming, training, giving opportunity. And what is actually happening is that for a number of years, at least for the Calypso arena, there has been this thrust to ensure that students from the primary school and the secondary schools in Trinidad and Tobago get that opportunity to sing, little tiny tots, and those in their teenage years get the opportunity to sing and perform and attain a crown in preparation for Calypso History Month activities, or for Calypso Fiesta, or for the Dimanche Gras. And so it becomes important to understand that there is a lot of training taking place. Of course, you just referenced soca. And of course, within that fraternity as well. I mean, Calypso and soca, you know, there is this debate about whether they're one and the same, or whether, you know, of course, we know that Calypso is mother music and soca comes out of that. But specifically in terms of the soca artists, they have a responsibility, as you indicated, to help others along, to help them grow, teach them how to perform, and teach them, you know, how to get into the business. And so this is something that's so important for young people to be aware of, that there is an opportunity provided through the Junior Calypso competition, but that then they then get to meet soca artists and other persons who can give them that in, as it were, into the other part of the industry. And so that is so important, so important. Debbie, I want to thank you very much for sharing, but is there anything else that you want to tell us that we didn't ask or that you didn't mention?
I wonder. Girl, there's so much. All I can say is follow your dream.
Mhm, mhm,
Follow your dreams and go for it,
yes,
because you never know.
mhm,
You got to live your life.
right,
And if you have a God-given talent,
yes,
I don't think that you should leave this earth or this place without at least giving yourself the opportunity to feel proud and to give back thanks to God for your God-given talent.
mhm. Thank you so very much, Debbie. It has been a
You're
pleasure
welcome.
interviewing you, and thank you for sharing your story and for telling us all about that push, that opportunity. When it's provided to you, seize it and never
Yes,
forget to,
yes.
do that which you've been invested with a talent to do. So thank you so
Thank you.
very much,
You're
and we wish you
welcome.
all the best. All right.
Thank you so much, Megan. Nice meeting you.
Okay. Take
Okay,
care.
honey. You too. Bye-bye.